Welcome to Blockchain News. We are here with Charles Hoskins. How are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for coming. The question will be, can you tell us a little bit about your background in blockchain?
So I've been an admirer of cryptocurrencies since 2011. In fact, the first Bitcoin meetup group I signed up for was in Denver, Colorado, and it was in 2011, and 3 people RSVP'd. I was one of the 3 people, and I was the only person who showed up. So I had a nice conversation with myself about the magic of blockchain. And since that time, I professionally entered the space in 2013, and I've started 3 companies. And now I run Input Output Hong Kong. And we operate in 10 countries with about 130 people. And we're most known usually either for Ethereum Classic or for Cardano.
We've heard you were referring Cardano as the 3rd generation public blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
And can you tell us a little bit more about what it really means?
Yeah, so to understand what that means, you have to really understand what 1st and 2nd generation were about. So 1st generation was about creating what I like to call a collective delusion. And so what I mean by that is that, the reality is money is only valuable if people believe it's valuable. So what Bitcoin had to do as the 1st generation of cryptocurrencies is create that notion. But the problem is it's not very useful. It's just a push payment system. So really all you can do is move value between 2 people and so forth, but you can't do complex financial transactions. So in 2013, we started a conversation about how do we go beyond what Bitcoin can do. So along that token, we said, can we take a programming language and attach it to a blockchain so now that we can have more complex financial transactions. So that was really the 2nd generation. And, Ethereum came out, it was wildly successful, and now we have the Neos of the world and all these other guys, and everybody's trying to be the best smart contract system. So the first problem is the issue of scalability. Second, there's just going to be lots of these systems, tons of them. And then the last part is the most difficult to resolve. It's the who pays and how do we decide problem, the sustainability problem. So that's really, if you add these 3 things together, they become the 3rd generation of cryptocurrencies, because once you solve them, then you go from a curiosity that's useful for some to an actual useful system for many, for billions of people. And eventually this can actually replace entire economies. So if you're a VC, you generally have sophisticated investors, you have very well capitalized LPs, and then you usually enter at a much lower valuation than what people are entering at with these tokens. And you expect that 90% of your portfolio will be a failure. Right. So if you have 10 ventures, 9 will fail. And the one that succeeds ends up being the Google or the Facebook, and it makes up for the rest. Mm-hmm. And even if it doesn't, well, you're gambling with rich people's money. So it's like, oh, I can't buy another Lamborghini. It's so sad. It's another moral hazard of ICOs that are quite problematic is that ICOs generally get all their money up front.
And is there anything in particular that interests you about Korea and the blockchain space here in general? You said you visit Korea every 6 months.
But Korea is a great place. Korea has huge volume for lots of tokens, and the exchanges here are considered to be some of the largest and world leaders. And so they're very important to talk to. And so it's nice to drop by and talk to them from time to time and say, well, what's going on in Korea? What are the problems you guys have been facing?
So do you think Korea have a potential to grow as the global powerhouse of the blockchain industry?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So it's important to understand that when you're a big multinational company like a Hyundai or a Samsung or a Sony, or a Toyota or a Microsoft, that you're like a giant ship and you can't really turn very quickly, right? I expect to see Korea being one of the world leaders in that respect. They have a great industry here. They're really involved in global business, and some of the companies here are some of the most innovative in the world. So I suspect that this is going to probably be on par with Japan, and if not even better than Japan. Much more so than China. In fact, I think that you guys are way ahead of China.
And lastly, is there any other words that you'd like to share with the viewers in Korea?
I'd like to tell the viewers in Korea that there is no rush. When you see emerging great new technology come, you have this implicit gut feeling of, oh God, I need to do something now. And if I don't do something now, I'm going to miss this great market opportunity or something like that. The reality is, if blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and here to change the world, it does not matter if you get in today or 2 years from today or 3 years from today. They're still going to be around, and there's still going to be plenty of opportunities. So the reason why I bring this up is that if you are rushing, you're very bound to make mistakes. So the single most important thing is understand what you're doing, take things very slow, make sure you have kind of a baseline of knowledge. And if that takes 2 years to accumulate, it takes 2 years to accumulate. So take things slow, don't rush, diversify, and have fun, and never put more in than you can afford to lose.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much. This was such a pleasure.